the Egyptians allegorized the whole demonstration of the goddess Sekhmet spitting fire from her asp that I've showed you guys a million times. This right here. Okay? Right there. The Uranus serpent power. It's the spitting of the fire when she brings judgment to the wicked people of the earth. Okay? That's what that's all about. She has the staff of control, which is the plow, make you responsible for what you plant because you reap what you sow. She's also got the Ankh, which is life regeneration. She has the sun disk with the serpent being the representation of energy that the sun put in all of us that permeates us and sustains us. That's what the serpent energy is that starts at the bottom. And when activated and reached the fullest temple, it will rest right up here top of your head, known as your Ajna chakra, your seventh chakra. You're operating on your third eye. And now you have power to communicate with the sun and get it to get Sekhmet to burn people's asses up. The sun will prove who you are to the world by giving wonders in the sky, in the planets, and the moons. And when you see me hanging out with these UFOs, getting that ass, you're gonna really, you're gonna know then. I'm gonna drive one of them bitches up to IGA, give me some peanuts and shit. And then you'll really see what I'm working with. Okay, let me read what it says. It says, lion-headed Sekhmet, whose name means mighty one, is a very primordial Egyptian deity. She is goddess of the creative fire that gave form to energy in the beginning of time. She carries the solar disk on her head, and the magic powers of the Uraeus serpent emerges as the third eye on her forehead. The serpent has been called fire spitting. Sekhmet was one great of magic, and her sorcery made her a matron of doctors, veterinary surgeons, and bone setters. In ancient times, women and men, priests, physicians, practiced side by side in the temples of Egypt. Now this I don't agree with, but I'm going to read what it said. It said, papyrus have been found from the 3rd millennium BC, which means before Christ, with prescriptions for both contraception and abortion. I don't think that the Egyptians would have had anything to do with any abortions or any contraceptives. If that stuff was found there, I'm not saying that it's not. I just, with what I understand about them being the people that walked on divine principles, abortion would have been totally not a part of their criteria. They would have never done anything like that. If they did find that type of stuff in there, it was probably because after the Europeans came in and took control of everything and usurped that regular government that was there. Because you're not going to be a person walking around with an ankh and talking about life permeates forever and the perpetuation of regeneration of life and everything, and then be having abortions and using contraceptives. They just would have had sex without getting pregnant. That was the wisdom they were vibrating with. Anybody else less than their intelligence would have implemented contraceptives and abortions, if they, especially if they was pushing it at the Egyptians themselves to try then to eradicate them just as they do now to us, you know. So that would make sense. But anyway, it says the shaman priestesses of the goddess were also healers and midwives, and they guided the dying on a journey back to the spirit realm. Now, they were like concerned about guiding dead people back. You know, they shouldn't have been trying to be quick to initiate, not trying to even birth the baby when it do come back, because birthing the baby is the way to guide the dead back. You have to guide them back through a woman uterus. So that's the reason they wouldn't have been. It's so contradictory. You understand? If you are a person that's, listen to what it says, it's just semi priests and the goddess were also healers and midwives, and they most guided the dying on their journey back to the spirit realm. Okay, I read it backwards, my bad. The precincts where the women gave birth were the most ancient sacred enclosures. Oracular priestesses dwell by the birthing walls, prophesying and healing. Sekhmet is a goddess of Nubia. African Upper Egypt, or Kem, or land of the blacks. That's what Kem means, land of the black, which is Kemet. And my name is Cam. Believe it or not, that is the name I grew up with, Cam. My friends used to call me that, as well as Cameo. Cameo is OMAC spelled backwards. So I got a lot of connections with this stuff that was just implemented by the universe as I grew older, little patterns and stuff that really put me on the right track of self-identity. And then it says, the patriarch, however, it felt segments were bloodthirsty and warlike. By them she was called Crusher of Hearts, a demonic messenger of death. They feared the power and fierceness of the lioness like they feared the great creative destructive powers of Kali, ancient black mother of India. And when the patriarchs took power, they always demonized and distorted the meaning of the goddess with her creative and destructive powers. Her darkness and light, many aspects of the goddess were cast as simply evil, dark and destructive. Women's menstrual, active, powerful, and wild sexuality was resisted because it was not fertile to the patriarchs. Only receptive, childbearing, heterosexuality, and women were acceptable. We are now living at a time when the Pacific Ring of Fire, the volcanoes of the Pacific Rim, are becoming alive. I did this painting while there were volcanic eruptions in the Philippines. It is always attributed to the Hawaiian goddess. It is also attributed to the Hawaiian goddess Pele of the volcanoes. The earth herself is erupting in volcanic rage and earthquakes. We must recognize the great creative fire within ourselves and fiercely become active on Earth's behalf. We need to resist those who are out to rape, slave, and exploit her. And I totally agree with that, without a doubt. Every word that just was said there is got my 100% backing itself. The papyrus that demonstrated the melanated Egyptians. There was the Tutankhamun pharaohs and the Akhenatons and the Ptahs and the Imhoteps and all that. I know in the Assets and the segments and the Hathors, they would have never had nothing to do with no damn abortions. You got to believe that. It says, my painting of Sekhmet now belongs to the Sekhmet temple in the Nevada desert, but as it is open to the elements, the painting is housed in the women's dormitory nearby. In the temple are sculptures, Sekhmet and La Madre de Manda by the Tate Marsha Gomez, so indigenous Mexican-American artist and activist. That's beautiful to know that this is a Mexican claiming person that recognizes their true heritage to the goddess Sekhmet, because you know the god Quetzalcoatl is a counterpart of the god Asar, because the god Quetzalcoatl that was here in these lands of America represents the same type of union with the sun as the god Asar. So Quetzalcoatl and Asar, as well as Ra, will all be the same thing, you know, if you want to really get down to it. And also, one more note I want to add is that when she went on to point out the fact that the volcanic action on the earth right now is under a demonstration of the god Pele and the god Kali that's in India, I just want to point out to you that even though the names are different, the god Pele, the god Kali, and also the god Sekhmet all represent fire. So they are all the same goddess, I should say, but just different names because of different locations. And then the menstrual blood that got mentioned also is a demonstration of the woman's volcanic eruption that she has once a month when she has her menstrual cycle. It's the same thing. It's the fertility of the earth. We are all fire. That's what we all are. So we need to know that anyway. But I just thought I'd share that with you and show you some footage that there is demonstrations of fire that will purify the earth. Fire is a form of purification. The earth is really contaminated with evil people, evil races, discriminative sexes, dumbass, homosexual, Christian fanatics, Muslim murderers. I don't say much about Muslim people and Islam and everything because my biggest thing is that I don't have to. They all know themselves. They know what they've done with that religion. They know they're responsible for the enslavement of people. They know to this day we go to the Sudan and all kind of Darfur, all those areas in Africa that's under all this crazy stuff of these black people being victimized and put through all these extreme demonstrations of atrocious acts is done by Christians, Muslims, and as well as Zionists who want to call themselves Jews. But everybody knows that that's not who they are. They want to hide behind this religious affiliation that they stole from the Canaanite original melanated Hebrews that they went and studied with over in the land of Canaan, got permission from the high-ranking pharaohs and kings and educated them, and they took the education around the world and enslaved everybody with it. So I'm not going to call them Jews. They are devils. They are the Zionists and the Nazis of this planet, and they are the ones that is making everyone have to work to death. And they are the ones who is purposely killing all the black men and women on this planet. I just thought I'd share that with you in case you didn't know. Mayab Hotel. Okay. You know who I am, right? My name is Asar. I want to show you guys something. This is the Eye of Haru. Okay. What this is right here is a representation. All of these different parts of equations, this inside of this is really a part of your layout in your brain. The middle section of your brain, if you was looking at it from the side view, this all run through the middle of your brain. I'm not going to waste a lot of time on that because I'm not really that qualified to talk much about that, except I can tell you why the Egyptians made this, because it is a representation of consciousness and where you are at in your realm of time and space when you reach Haru. That's why these eyes is everywhere as well as on the dollar and all that, because the ancient Kemetic people was very serious about consciousness, and they knew that the realm of spirituality all was manifested in the way a person conceptualized what they were looking at or what it was that they were observing. And today that principle still applies. So it's not just perceiving, it's the knowledge of what is being perceived that makes the decisions about a person's climb or fall more than anything in life. You can climb wealthy, but are you really climbing or are you falling? You could be up here with everything, but when that money is gone and you leave this area where you thought you was all that, and you're sitting over here not attached to all that material wealth that you made a fool out of yourself to attain, that's when it matters. When your heart comes to be judged, and that money don't go with you, and you see what a fool you were for being so rude and honorary because you went along with someone who taught you to be that way to be accepted by them. Okay, this is the Eye of Haru. I'm going to show you how the Europeans stole all this ancient Egyptian stuff and used it for themselves to control the world. Here goes again with the wings of Ma'at around it. You can see the wings right there that they got on their dollar. You see the wings right there? They actually got it on their dollar. You can see the serpent right there with a star crown on the head, representing the serpent power belonging to Asar as king on earth, because he will have the power of all of the spiritual entities on the earth. They can't resist it. When he shows up, they will have to be abiding. And that's just the way it works. Here is the eye right here that shows you, again, the all-knowing magnificence of the God-man, Haru, who has graduated from being a person in quest of fulfillment of body, and he is no longer on the physical realm. Mentally, he has climbed to his pineal gland, where he is vibrating with supreme knowledge of his God self. That's what this is all a representation of. Man, woman, know thyself. Let's keep going. Haru has graduated and been resurrected. That's just the eye again. Here goes with the universal mother, Hathor, also known as Sekhmet. This is the cow that you see in the nativity scenes with Jesus. In the manger all the time, you can see she has the two plumes on her head that gave the commandments. This was 40, I think it's 42 negative confession or 48, I can't remember right now. I think it's 48. This is the sun disk, of course, representing the sun, giving you the knowledge to know that 48 negative confession. Negative confessions, I mean that you knew what you should not do and you was able to stand in any judge and say, I have not committed sin, I have not stolen, I have not murdered, I have this and that. The Europeans came along with thou shalt not to show you that they were being instructed by someone else, and they were being instructed by the Egyptians. The Egyptians was teaching them how not to be so damn barbaric and telling them what they shouldn't do. You see the horns right here representing the flow of plenty. Always when the horns come in, it's because it's the representation of fertility, maturity, at the age to reproduce, to bring life, to regenerate. And you can see the wisdom is always accompanied with the eye layout. It means knowledge, consciousness of knowing. You can see she's in the papyrus reeds. You can see the papyrus reeds there. And they are a representation of how knowledge is transferred and written down and stored and all that. That's what that's all about. You can see around her neck, she has this spiral. This shows you she's in constant touch with the universe and how things come and go. She's aware of there is nothing but change all the time. As you can see, there is a cosmic uterus in the middle of the spiral to show you that every uterus has the uterus. The spiral is representing not to go around the same cycle over and over, but to go to the end and have a space to climb into to start even a new spiral. That's what that's all represented about, along with everything that would be on the neck gear too would be synonymous with constellation of stars, movement, and all that. This is how accurate and to the letter these Egyptian people were. To prove it to you, you can understand here the pyramid there with the black cap on top of a star, and then there's a window there for the soul to come out and get to the constellation of Dracos, or the constellation of the goddess Set, which is constellations series, or also the constellation of Orion. It's the three major points that they were all after. The representation of going up to the tower always meant for the elevation of the soul. That's what that's always about, the elevation of consciousness, because the soul is conscious. That's the I again. And as you can see, it's everywhere. Everywhere, everywhere, everywhere. Okay? Even there, they got to represent. I won't waste time on that. That's the God. It's God. Can't see it anyway. There it goes again. The blue pearl in the middle is not the representation of the blue eye of the European man. It's the blue pearl that you see in the camera of consciousness that the camera showed you from sunlight, that my blue pearl was turned on. And that's what that's all about right there. This is the God Tahuti, that we all know as the God of wisdom that lives in the sun as well as the moon. He's demonstrating how the knowledge can take wings and fly. Okay, the God Tahuti right here is a bad dude. I'm going to tell you, this right here is the God that's representing that zoomorphic frame of the baboon. Comes and visit me sometimes. It'd be just this beautiful baboon with all these beautiful blue and green and gray and brown colors in it. Man, it's just so beautiful. It comes and talks to me, and it just has these illuminating colors that just be bouncing off of it. And I know it's Tahuti because I know when I'm talking to who I'm talking to, we know who this is. That's Jay-Z holding up the pyramid, what they call Baphomet, all that old stupid shit. I ain't gonna waste time on that. But as you can see, they used our pyramid to rip us off. They put the eye of Ra up there, but they put some wicked looking eye in there as all seeing, like the sun. You see the rays, right, off of there. That's all it is. It's just the sun. Because they know when you look in the dollar and see that sun right there, you'll be attached to it, especially when you take it somewhere and get privileges of materialism from it. Same thing here. They put the stars around it. See? They put 3 stars around that. See that? That's the, and then look, they even put, I bet it's probably 13. I'm not going to waste time commenting. But it says 3 stars above the pyramids below. Okay? But I'm not going to waste a lot of time. I'm going to keep it pushing. Here we go again with the pyramid, with the star inside of it. Okay? They always got to take our stuff, talking about Christian eye of providence. Ain't got nothing to do with no Christianity. Okay? This is all ancient Kemetic. Christians used it. Anytime you take something and don't give it back to the people you got it from, you stole it. Okay? Trinity, 1, 2, 3. Okay? As we know, that's going to be female, male, child. There's the 3 equilateral planes I tell you about. 1, 2, 3. All right? Now watch. That's going to be for the 3 sustainment polarities is going to be air, water, and then you have the sunlight that comes from above, because let me show you how it works. The union of the ground and the earth always comes together at this tip right here, okay? So now what you got right here is the soil on this equilateral plane right here. And then right here you could have air or moisture or water, okay? Okay, we got soil here, all right? Because the 4 elements is earth, that's earth. Okay, we got wind, okay? And then we got air, all right? That's 3. But now the fire comes down, because now watch this. You get another pyramid, right? And you bring it from above. What's above is below. So there's the point right there. See? Okay, now what you do is you take the point that's right here touching. Now remember we saw that where they get married at, the heaven and earth gets married? You take this point and you pull it straight down like this. And when you get it placed right there, what you're going to have is the Star of David. And this equilateral plane that you're seeing right here is going to be, it came down with the point that I pulled down, and there's going to be another one right there. And that's going to be your fourth equilateral plane, which is the sunlight. Okay? Now this is our science that they stole from us, and they're using it on us, and we don't even know about it. Then when you come with the dollar, of course, they got the United States of America. You see that. You see the pyramids. You see the wings of Ma'at that I showed you. Remember? Let me show you. Remember I showed you the wings of Ma'at, and then it came and jacked them and put them there? Watch. This is what's beautiful, because I can go right back to you and show them to you. See? Look. Do you see the goddess Ma'at right there? I think that's her. Okay. This probably is the Uwajit. But what I'm saying is, do you see the wings? These are the same wings that be on the temple wall. Do you see it's a bird? Look. See right there? You see the layout for it being a bird? Do you see? You can see that, right? Okay, all this stuff is ancient Kemet. Let me show you what they did. They took all our knowledge, stole it from us, knocked our asses, put us unconscious, and now look where you see those wings at. See? See those wings? You see our pyramids? Do you see it? All that, don't you? They jacked it from us, all of it. There's Asar and Haru, because Asar is Haru's father. Haru is the re-resurrection of his fallen father Asar. That means that all black people, men and women, that has been put to sleep under the brainwashing, the atrocious beatings and enslavement, oppression of the controlling, dominant European nations, upon their waking up to their God self, they will be to reach their Haruhood, which will be the resurrection of Asar. Now listen, there goes the pyramid with the eye, with the sunlight around it. And then over here, here's those wings that I just showed you with the goddess Ma'at. Okay, and then up here again, it's the sun again, with all the sunlight around it also. And then they 13 that they stole from us too. And don't want you to know that they come up with 13 reasons to give you all their bullshit rhetoric. But what it's all about is the 12 judges, the 12 jurors and one judge that's in the Hall of Ma'at that I'm keep talking about right now, the Hall of Ma'at. Here comes them now, plagiarizing everything. As you can see, Eplu is vinegar. I don't know what that means. I did know, but I'm not going to try to remember right now. I think it means, what does it mean? In these signs we conquer? I think, no, that's not sure. But it's Roman something. I could find out and come back later. But as you can see, there's the pyramid with the sun coming off of it. Just plagiarized everything from us. There's the seeing eye again of Haru that we started off with all the sun rays coming off of it again, showing you that the true, and look, with the wings of my eye. See the wings? You see? See what I'm saying? Those are the wings in the sunlight. Because if you get on the right vibrations, you can look at the sun and actually see that. The sun will be right here, and it will make a shape of wings around it. And you know your vibrations is good when you can start having that kind of interaction with it. I don't care what no one says. When you see the interactions I have with the sun, and then you try to look down on because of my skin color or because I'm not wealthy and all that stuff, it just shows you how ignorant you are. You know, it's like this guy's the only person ever heard of that made the sun do something like that. And then everybody look at me like, there's something wrong with me. It's like, you should understand the God in me. You don't see nothing but divine actions coming from me. Okay, here's the pyramid again, with the sun around it and the eye inside of it, okay? And this is the coat of arms or brass law, various, some European. See, you see the shields that they make? Okay, this is my name too, Shields, Paul Shields. But you can see, all this stuff is nothing but plagiarized from ancient Kemet, all of it. And then again, there's the eye again, eye of Ra. This time, it's not the eye of Haru. This is the eye of Ra. That Ra got so depressed one day about things going on with him and his family and how things were that he started crying. And he was so miserable, so depressed. When he started crying, his tears fell to the earth and made people. Here's something real, real old, European, ancient, where they show you when they used to be sun worshippers that they knew the sun was God. And as you can see, they actually made a sun that looks like an eye, in the eye of Haru. You can see that. They knew it. See, look, even down here, you can find the old school stuff at the Last Supper where Jesus was hanging out with nothing but men, all that patriarchal stuff that we was just reading about a minute ago when I told you about the goddess segment and her eradication by the European males to disnounce the woman from her seat of greatness, but Jesus sitting there with a feminine ass dress on. Look at that. Do you see that? See the homosexuality? Now, come on, you know that's a bit much. Nothing but men, no women anywhere. Jesus got a halo around his head, like the halo you see in my camera that the sun puts me up under and show me as the God-man. And then, of course, you see a pyramid right there with the eye inside of it, with the big light of the sun around it. So the only thing they've done is plagiarize everything about the true God-man, or everything that the real God-man will come to earth and show you by having these interactions with the sun. They've stolen and got all y'all waiting on this guy to show up. And you're overlooking the guy that's already here. It's going to cost your ass too. See, look, they shows you all their power is in the sun. You see that? Do you see that's the pyramid with the eye in there again with all this gold sunlight around it. And they done enslave the people who this golden sunlight gives information to, like me. I could be good at any job I had out there. But them motherfuckers just don't want me to have no job because they know I'm not going to perpetuate their Jesus for them. So they want to see me dead off the earth. And as you can see, all this stuff, Alexander and this and that and woo-woo, they couldn't even make these buildings if it wasn't for the ancient combatants, people that get no credit for what they contributed to the world. And then you see the wings of Ma'at now, all of a sudden end up on this lady right here. See, but you still see the Egyptian pyramids with the sunlight in the background, in the eye of Haru, or the eye of Hara. And then look, she had the nerves to have a chain here, as if they're breaking the bondage of freedom and everything, and they're the biggest enslavers of anyone on the planet. And she got a scepter in her hand, just like all the pharaohs and gods and goddesses of ancient Kemet walked around with. Then, of course, you get down here, the all-seeing eye that's up here, see, all the time. And then, of course, there's another pyramid. See, they back everything up that they do with Egyptian magic. There's the columns there. See, column right there. And then you can see what they call the arch. But what they see, the ancient Comedians didn't look at this as an arch. They looked at this as a passageway into another universe or a cosmic uterus. That's the reason they formed that and tapered it into that 180 degree right there, so it could be tapered off like the round of a woman, see? And sometimes you could go to the places where they actually took it all the way to the ground and made it obvious that, like you see in the camera, when they make a manifestation of a female vagina, look, they're everywhere, see? They always have those holes everywhere, and I'm going to prove that to you when we get to the bottom too. Look, there's one there. See, they put them everywhere because they know the magic of the woman in her uterus. But they're everywhere. They're just pop. See, look, they'll pop them up on you. If you don't know what you're looking at, you won't know that you're consciously seeing in your mind uterus. In my Father's mansion, there are many mansions. Anytime you see that circle, you can put more circles inside of it and make that spiral that I'm telling you about. That's what's going on. That's how life permeates forever. See, it's even inside of there. Look. Now that's the eye of Haru. Now when I get to the end of this, I'm going to trip you out. Look at that circle right there. They're everywhere. Those holes are. And they know that. They will work you to death with those holes, and you will never even know that that's what's going on. See? They're everywhere. Look, I can even jump over here and start finding them. You know? But I mean, they're everywhere you look. Look at this. This is ground zero at the World Trade Center. They got burnt down. And remember, the Illuminati, they say, had something to do with those buildings getting bombed up. Now look what they did. They actually brought a marching band out here and made them form this. You see it right here? See, look at just the middle section right there. See? Now look at this right here. Do you see it? You see how they use our magic on us all the time? This is what they're doing. Now what they're doing is they're implementing the aftermath ritualization of all the people that died and the destruction of the materialism and all the money that they made. They're commemorating it all with this marching band now. And then they purposely put that woman's uterus there that I was just telling you guys about. How you see those circles everywhere. Look at CBS. Do you see? Look at CBS. Or is it ABC or NBC? Look at them. They know what to do with that. See, look at, there's one there. Look where they are. They're everywhere. Look. Look at that. And then look here. Okay, let's just go through so I can show you where they are. See there? See? See what they did? They made it this right here. They reenacted it just like we were doing in Africa. When we was Dogon people and left alone, we would do rituals like this to enact actions in the cosmic universe, the movement of stars, constellations, and planets. And here they is reenacting their murdering task is of eradicating people off the earth, destruction of everything, and just the embezzlement and theft of all type of materialism. And here they is now, got so much wealth, they could just